Hi, Jenny.
Hi. Hi, I'm Jenny.
What?
And Jenny used up all the invites.
Jenny, that dress would look even better in black.
Nothing. Doesn't matter because Dad said I can't go. Black. Cool.
What do you mean you're going home? Nobody ever leaves a sleepover.
Well, I guess there's firsts for everything.
The first day of a new queen's reign.
Hey, Jenny. Is there anything we can do for you?
I'm sorry. My family's in investment banking. They're all broke.
You can go.
It is highly unlikely that I will ever forgive you for going to Nate. But if you walk away from me now, I will also ruin you.
Hope you don't expect a hug.
I don't expect anything anymore.
How are you gonna do that?
You never did.
Really, Vanessa? Lying and seeing Nate behind my back? You know, I don't know what's more pathetic, that I wanted to be one of you or that I was actually scared of you.
You're not like those girls, Jenny.
Like I said, the mean girls don't control anything.
Blair, wake up. You're not queen anymore.
How do we keep her from making a choice?
We don't. We make it for her. Take off your clothes and take out your credit card. And the forces of evil are just getting started. Catch. In life, the young queen becomes a tyrant.
Well, since you apparently love your new bag more than your old friends, I guess you can carry it. Across the street. Enjoy being BFFs with a hunk of leather.
What were you thinking?
Well, maybe we should change that. I'll see you guys around.
I'm sorry,
Sorry, Blair.
but this child seems to be the only one that can design anything that the buyers are remotely interested in.
The only reason I survive in it.
She married her country. Forget boys. Keep your eye on the prize, Jenny Humphrey. You can't make people love you, but you can make them fear you.
And when that happens, maybe I'll think about coming home. But for now, goodbye, good riddance, and good luck.
No. Hey, Blair, since I'm Queen of Constance and Graham Collins wants to be my escort, I don't think I need you as my mentor anymore.
The cycle of abuse must be broken. The monarchy ends tonight.
Jenny, you're lucky to have me. Don't push it.
Well, anytime I can combine styling with revenge.
Your era's over.
You're dead.
Where are you going?
I'll be waiting for you downstairs. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah, but this can't be what you want.
Make you care what I want.
You're my queen.
Where the hell were you?
Secrets Jenny amassed when she was trying to protect you, Nellie? Well, now the world knows them too. So it looks like we have a winner. Now, if you don't mind.
How can you do this? Letting some girl from Brooklyn carry on our legacy?
Goodbye, Jenny from Brooklyn.
Haven't you ever heard of a foreign queen?
You know, you really put yourself on the radar tonight. Better not make that mistake again or you'll pay for real.
She being Serena. And who am I? That's not a secret I'll never tell. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.
What's up? And what? What's up? We got Gossip Girl, Season 4, Episode 10, Gaslit. And now we got Jenny's final episode. So, yeah, this episode starts off with Blair telling the icon, Dorota, how she's excited to spend Thanksgiving in Paris with Harold and Ramon. The icon, Dorota, is suspicious that Blair is leaving to avoid Serena and Chuck, so she tells her she made a great pumpkin pie so she can drop off at Vanda Woodson's as a peace offering. Blair refuses initially, but then is like, okay, I'll agree to go. At the Vanda Woodson's, Eric emerges from his room to find a large table and set and wonders who's all invited. He asks Rufus, who just answers that Lily wanted to put all the stops. Eric mentions that he hasn't heard from Serena since the party and he wants to go to the Waldorf to talk to her. Lily forbids him, saying that they can talk once Serena grows up and stops throwing tantrums. But technically this wasn't all Serena's fault. This was Juliet. Elsewhere, Dan and Vanessa are grocery shopping, and Vanessa is wearing the weirdest outfit, the worst outfit that I've ever seen on this show. It was so bad that Watch Mojo created a top 10 worst Gossip Girl outfits. And the outfit that Vanessa wears in this episode was the thumbnail. So yeah, you know if you wear a bad outfit, when even Watch Mojo creates a video about your worst outfit. I don't know what Vanessa was thinking. Yeah. And they agree to go to the Vanderbilts dinner together. Outside, Nate confirms his plans to visit his dad before going to the Vanderbilts for dinner. Howard is sad that not having seen Anne for a while and wishes for a chance to show her how much he's changed. After him, Nate arrives home and finds the family lawyer with papers. Nate snaps him and takes the envelope and is surprised to see that, Anne is trying to divorce Howard. So, at the Vanderwoodsons, both Chuck and Blair see each other and agree to be civil at Little Run-In. After talking to Lily for a minute, they all three realize Serena is missing and hasn't been seen since the party. Serena wakes up in a hotel room surrounded by empty bottles of alcohol and pills. She dials 911 and passes out again, but before she can explain further than not knowing where she is or how she got there. At Archibald, Nate tells Dan that his mom thought that Anne filed for divorce. He vents about being confused, and Dan tells him that he should accept his parents might be happier separated, and that it can't come as a total shock. After the conversation, Dan gets a call from Rufus telling him Serena is in the hospital and asks him not to tell anyone outside the family. Dan obliges. At the hospital, no one knows anything other than about her phone call and drugs were involved. Lily goes to get coffee, and Rufus calls Jenny to ask her to come to the city for support. Of course, him not knowing that Jenny is already in the city, she agrees to go and get on the next train. But of course, she's already in the city. So, at the Vanderwoods, Vanessa arrives to find the icon. The icon Dorota sitting alone at the apartment. Why did you bring Dorota with you, Blair? She's an icon. So she asks what's going on, and Dorota tells her, call Mr. Rufus. Before she gets a call from Jenny telling her they messed up and she's on her way home. I thought she was already in New York. At the hospital, Dan arrives and fills Blair in on the story. Dan doesn't think his actions sound like something Serena would do. But Blair disagrees, saying it's probably just like Serena she used to know. It's like the Serena she used to know. Meanwhile, Lily learns from the doctors that it was a drug overdose, but Serena should be fine. She continues from what she was concerned that drugs they found in her system and what best would be for rehab. Lily tells Rufus she doesn't think Serena meant to harm herself and doesn't think that she was taking medication without telling them. At Archibald, Nate confronts Anne about the papers and begs her to give Howard a second chance, but she's firm when she says he won't ever change and isn't going to change her mind. Back at the hospital, Lily, Rufus, Eric, Dan, and Blair discuss what next step to take. The doctor suggests an involuntary hold, where she has to go wherever she wants to or not. Dan says they shouldn't admit her against her will, but Blair argues that it might be best for her. Eric points out that a news story about Serena is running on news, and they all hear her phone call for the first time. Chuck comes in and announces that the paparazzi are camped outside, and Blair realizes they're probably going to be outside the Vanderwoodsons building soon. Lily decides to have an involuntary hold to transfer Serena to the Ostroff Center, where Eric was when he tried to kill himself. And at the center, Serena is peeved at them for committing her. Eric tells her that when he was there, he didn't want to be there, but it took him a long time to come to terms with what he did too. Elsewhere, Dan fills Nate on what happened, and Dan wonders if something else is going on. Nate gets text from his mom to come home before he leaves. He tells Dan that Serena acting out is her trying to pull people back into her world of drama, and Nate is basically done with her forever. At Juliet's apartment, Jenny arrives to see her. Juliet assures Jenny that everything Serena did after the party wasn't on them. Yeah, basically, that's basically you as a manipulator, Juliet, basically blaming the other person for something you did. So they're basically trying to turn Juliet into a master manipulator now. After Jenny leaves, and they might have opened the door. And they might open the door to a bigger problem. Jenny, who was planning on telling what they did, agrees to wait before saying anything to anyone. After Jenny leaves, Juliet sends a photo of herself dressed as Serena doing cocaine to Gossip Girl. At the center, Dan arrives to break Serena out. She admits to him that she came to the party to kiss him and only him. At Juliet, Vanessa calls her and learns that Jenny is about to tell the truth. She agrees with what she's doing, and Juliet warns her that since Jenny is their family, she will be forgiven, but Vanessa never will. Juliet explains that she will lose all of them, especially Dan, who will go back to Serena after they hang up. She's a master manipulator. We knew this, but we now know. Juliet begins packing her apartment. At the center, Blair and Chuck talk. As they do, they see Jenny walking in the building. Jenny goes to see Rufus, who basically Vanessa got to him already and basically squarely blamed everything onto Jenny. Yeah, she basically got there and was like, "Oh, hey, Rufus, everything." Yeah, basically, Jenny goes there to tell them the truth, but not knowing, Vanessa got there and told Rufus and blamed everything squarely on Jenny. Before Jenny can reply, Rufus comes down and announces, Serena is gone. Meanwhile, Nate goes to see his dad in prison and surprised when Anne comes in to visit as well. She agrees to hear how it out, and Nate was never a mistake they made. At the law, Dan hurries around to pack a bag so they can leave town. Serena thanks him for believing her, but right before they go out the door, Lily and Blair arrive to stop them. Outside, Jenny admits to scheming against Serena, but also explains that Juliet and Vanessa were responsible. Rufus tells her that he's not Juliet and Rufus. He's not Juliet and Vanessa's dad. He's her. So that she was still responsible for the plan, and agrees with her when she says she shouldn't have come back to the city. Meanwhile, at the law, Serena tells Blair and Lily that she doesn't want to talk to them. She goes to Dan's room to be alone, and Blair follows. Lily asks for a moment with Dan, and he recommends she talk to Serena instead of making decisions that aren't necessary best for her. Lily realizes that maybe what Serena did was a cry for help, and as for mother, maybe she didn't hear it. And basically says that Dan's like a son to her. Or I think that's what she said. In Dan's room, Serena reminds of when she struggled with bulimia and how Serena walked her to the doctor to make sure she went to be taken, and then to be there to take her home. Serena again says she didn't do it, even though it was crazy to think that. While they talk, Gossip Girl Blast comes in and photos Juliet, although Gossip Girl says it's Serena. She sees the blast and tells Lily to take her back to Austria. Afterwards, she goes to sit in Dan's room and tells him that since she doesn't remember being in the photo, she isn't sure what else she's capable of. Dan promises her to always believe in her, and they kiss. Eric enters the room and tells Lily that Lily's downstairs waiting for her. Rufus arrives back, and Dan apologizes. He has to be alone, and Rufus goes off and tries to save the holiday. At the prison, Juliet meets with Ben. He tells her that she did everything she did, including drugging her and dropping her off of Columbia. However, Ben is not pleased that she did that and tells her that she went too far. In the car, Blair rambles while Chuck sits next to her. She explains that she said what she said to him, but Chuck says that she would make the right choice and they can't be together. He also tells her that they can't be friends either. At the prison, Juliet runs into Howard in the cafeteria and she watches as he goes sit next to Anne and Nate. She heads to the exit and throws her ID away, telling the guard she's going away for a while. Jenny arrives at Juliet's apartment right here, to find it completely empty except for a bag of trash, which contains the mask she wore dressed as Serena. Outside the prison, Anne admits to Nate that Howard has really changed, and she was wrong to assume he hadn't. At the Vander Woods, Rufus and Lily agree to pack up their food and take it to the Ostra. She admits that she feels as a mother, she should take responsibility for what happened. Rufus tells her that the parenting only goes so far, and they both end up with daughters they can't control. Lily gets a text and tells Rufus she'll meet them there. At the Waldorf, Jenny goes to see Blair and explain everything they did. After figuring it out, Blair asks her to help take down Juliet, but Jenny declines, saying that Blair was right to banish her and she needs to stay gone. Meanwhile, Rufus meets with Juliet. Lily meets with Juliet at a bar and hands over a check to protect Serena's history. Juliet promises to stay quiet as long as the check comes every month, so she can say how sorry she is about Serena overdosing. At the prison, Nate learns from Howard is up for parole soon, and he was talking about how sure he would like to get it once everyone knew he would be with Anne. At the Empire, a pie arrives for Chuck from Blair, discloses with no telling him they can't, just because they can't be friends doesn't mean they aren't. Elsewhere, Vanessa gets a text from Jenny telling her that she told Blair everything and that she can't lie her way out of it. Vanessa calls her mom and tells her that she's headed home, taking the last train out of the city. And yeah, that's the end. That's not the end of Vanessa, but Vanessa is basically gone from the show for after this for 11 episodes. Yeah, this is the last we see of Vanessa for 11 episodes. At the Ostra, Lily arrives with fries for Serena and promises to handle everything with her together. At the law, Blair arrives to see Dan, shows him what happened, and asks him to help her get revenge, and that's it. And guess what? We never see Jenny again, except for Rufus mentioning her and a non-speaking appearance in the series finale. But as is, this is Jenny's last appearance. So anyway, that was episode 10. Really good. Even though, yeah, this is Jenny's final appearance. That's why I made the background of this video, because this is her final appearance. And I wanted to commemorate how Taylor Momsen really did a good job. I know she had to leave the show due to her wanting to be on her music career, and she had to stop through her tour to return to the show for that non-speaking series finale cameo. But yeah, that's it. This is the last we see of Jenny, except for Rufus and Dan and everyone mentioning her in later seasons, in season 5 and 6, or season 5, I think. But this is Jenny's last episode as a main cast member. Again, except for a non-speaking cameo in the series finale. But yeah, next episode we got the townie. Juliet goes MIA, and Dan and Blair decide to go looking for her, and end up running into Damien Delgard along the way. And yeah, along the way they run into Damien Delgard. Yeah, remember Damien? He last appeared in season 3, episode 15, 16-Year-Old Virgin. They run into him, who's at a frat party. Who's at a house Juliet is apparently staying at. So yeah, can't wait to watch the next episode. Might do it after this one, because I really want to get to because I really want to end this story arc, the Juliet story arc, with really good, goodness. So yeah. Next episode, we end this Juliet story arc. We find out why the Sharp family hates Serena so much, And we find out that Lily's keeping a secret of her own from both Serena and Chuck. So, yeah. And could it be the worst thing Lily has ever done in the series? Could it be the worst thing and make you actually dislike Lily? Find out next time on Season 4, Episode 11, The Townie. I understand why it's called The Townie, but yeah, probably going to do it after this one because I really want to finish off today's reviews with Episode 11. But yeah. Also, probably going to do a Jenny tribute because I really want to do one. I'm probably going to put a video of a tribute of Jenny or something because, yeah, this is Taylor Momsen's final appearance as Jenny, where she actually has a full-on speaking line, where she speaks. So yeah, probably going to put in a Jenny tribute, where a video tributes Jenny and all she did, because even though Jenny was kind of a villain in season 3 and kind of here, she was still a good character and was acted well. She was acted well, and she was kind of a good foil for the Vanessa-Nate relationship and the Nate-Serena relationship. So yeah, this is Jenny's last episode. So you know you love me. XOXO, Gossip Girl. Little J may be leaving the show, but there's a tribute for Queen J coming along the way. Find out next time. Find out. But are you ready when Lonely Boy and Queen Bee find out where J is? Find out where J is, and what is Lily, and what is Mrs. Vanderwood? What is Mrs. Bass really? Mrs. Humphrey really hiding? What is she hiding from both her daughter and her apparently adoptive son? Find out next time. But you know you love me. XOXO, Gossip Girl.